Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today we'll talk about polymorphism. In polymorphism, we have two main concepts. One is overloading and the other one is overriding. So, polymorphism is a Greek word which means one name, many form. In other words, we can say that one method name with different functionalities or different implementations. As we know, we have two types of polymorphism. The overloading is static, which means that when we compile the program, that is the time when computer will make a decision that which method I will be executing and when. And it will be based on the number of parameters, by the way. Now in overriding, computer will not make a decision at the time of compilation. Rather, it will make a decision when it will execute the program. That is why we call it dynamic. Now let's see the example of overloading. As I mentioned, one method with same name but different parameters. That is what we call overloading. Same name of method but different parameters. Similarly, same constructor name but different parameters. That is what we call overloading. Now in this example, if you see, we are having add methods and different parameters. So we have nothing, no parameters here, two parameters here and three parameters here. This is an example of overloading. Now let's see the example. Now we have addition class. We have two instance method. One instance method has three parameters, another instance method has two parameters. Now, when we will create the object and will call the method, that is the time when we pass the number of parameters. That is the time when computer will call one of these methods based on the number of parameters. So let's try this example on the computer. Now, so we have a class program, and then we have static void main. So in this one, we are going to have an object of addition class. This method will return integer value. So we need integer variable to catch the value that comes from the method. So obj.add. Now which method will be called? It depends on the number of parameters. For example, I say 50, 50 and 50. And similarly, I have another variable and 2, and again I'm calling this add method, but this time I am adding two parameters. Okay, so let's see what value we get. So let's print the values n1, and then we will print the n2 value. So again, one more time, we have an addition class that has two methods, same name but different parameters, same name with different parameters. And now we are creating the object of the class and we are calling this method add. Same name but different parameters. So based on the parameters, computer will decide which method I have to call. So let's compile this method program, and it's done. If I run the program, you will see that I got 150 and then 99. So depending on the parameters, computers call that method. So this is an example of overloading. Now, let's talk about overriding. In overriding, we have same name, same parameters. You see the difference? In overloading, same name, different parameters, but in overriding, same name, same parameters. It's just like we are having two Abdullah in same house. So overriding allow you to change the functionality of a child class method. And overriding is a runtime, so computer will make a decision when it will be executing the program. So let's see the example. Another important thing is that whenever you have to override a method, you will use the virtual keyword in the parent class, and you will be writing override keyword in the child class. This thing you have to make sure. So let me copy the code, and now the test class is a program, and now we have static void main. In this one we have a car object, a variable that will hold the Ferrari object. Remember one thing, the parent class variable can hold the child object. This is acceptable, exactly like the parents can hold their child. Okay, so father can hold a child. Similarly, the parent class can hold the object of a child class. So in this one, I will be running a method top speed. So now the car variable, when it looks at the Ferrari object, so it will call the Ferrari top speed method. Let me print and see if it is console. So I have to say system.console.writeLine, and this is my, I can say top speed is plus n1 semicolon. So let's compile it. Now it's compiled successfully and execute it. So I got the answer, top speed is 400. Okay, now if I say um, Ferrari object from the Ferrari variable is holding the Ferrari object. The child class variable is holding a child class object. So let's see what is the difference. So I compiled and it works fine. So child class knows that I have to go for my child class object. But how about the parent class? Because when you compile this program and you are extending the child class, parent class to the child class, what will happen? This method will become the part of this class. You see that? Now this Ferrari class is having two methods, the top speed from the parent class and top speed from the. Now this keyword override actually hide this parent method. Although it is a part of this class, but this is hidden, is not like that. Just like when we are having two Abdullah in the same house, so one Abdullah is in the room and other Abdullah is outside, so we are hiding the other Abdullah. So with this override, we are hiding the virtual method of the parent class, the same name, same parameters. So that is why when we say, okay, the car object can hold the child object, so this will make a decision that I will be calling the child method, child class method. So now if you see here, so what we learned in the overriding, that parent class object will determine the execution of a method based on the class object. If it is a Ferrari, it will go to the Ferrari. And if it is a parent class, now let's see if I change it to a parent class, okay, and I compile it, so it will go for the parent class. So it will go to the parent class. Okay. So if it is a Ferrari, if it is a child class, so because of this overriding, the parent method will be calling the child method. So the parent class object will determine the execution of the method based on class object. Now we have a class activity for the polymorphism. You will be using the virtual keywords and the override keywords. So you have to create a class R1 that has a virtual method get sound. Virtual method means you want to override this method into a child class, and then you have to display the word beep beep, and then so you have to implement this one. Read the question carefully and try to implement. That's it for today. Kafara majlis. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.